Hi and a huge welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Today, continuing the student meal theme in this kitchen with very few appliances. You know those granola bars you can buy in the store with that lovely white chocolate coating on? We're going to be making those today, and they're very simple to make and so delicious when you make your own. Now our recipe is starting with rolled oats. Don't get those quick oats, they're really too pappy and they don't add the texture we want. So we're going to take 2.5 cups into a pan. Now I haven't got an oven. You could roast these in the oven. Bring them over to your stovetop, put it on a medium to high heat, and then what you're going to do is whilst this pan is heating, we're just going to continue to stir them until they go a little bit of a golden brown. Now if you really wanted to, you could miss this step out altogether, but I think it adds so much more richer flavour if the oats are toasted. So after 3 or 4 minutes, you can see the oatmeal's going a lovely sort of golden brown. Now don't overdo it, we don't want that bitterness from burnt oatmeal. And I want the oatmeal to stop cooking, so I'm just going to pop it into a mixing bowl. Now whilst that pan is still hot, I've got 60 grams of butter, which is about 1/4 cup. I've got 50 grams, that's about 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and 1/3 cup or 110 grams of honey. Now I'm just going to bring the heat back up and start to mix this through. Now I should say I'm not keen on these induction hobs, to be honest. I do prefer gas or electric, but this one seems to work okay. Now when it starts to bubble like that, I'm going to continue to stir it for about 3 minutes. Now I think that's been long enough, all my sugars have dissolved there, so I'm going to take this off the heat. There's a gorgeous smell now of caramel. Now I'm going to take that and pour it over my rolled oats. At this point you can be as creative as you like. Now I've got some beautiful cranberries, 1/2 cup, I'm just going to pop it in there. I've also got lovely moist golden raisins, 1/2 cup of those. And I'm adding in sunflower seeds. You could add in nuts or cashews, whatever you like. 1/2 cup of those again. I'm also going to be adding chocolate chip into this, but I'm going to mix this through and let it cool down a little bit before we put the chocolate chips in. So get a nice even coating of that sugar and butter over the grains. Now that is still super hot, so I'm just going to pop it aside. Now I kind of wish I had a square tray, but the only thing is I've got this 9-inch round deep pan dish. I'm just taking a piece of baking paper, cutting it to a point, eyeballing it roughly to the center, and I'm just going to cut around. And I'm putting the circle of paper so the granola bars will come out nice and easily. So I've got my tray prepared. I'm going to pop these chocolate chips in there now, and don't forget it is a bit hot, so we've got to work quite quickly. Chocolate chips in, give this a good mix through. And I've used 1/2 cup of dark chocolate chips for this. Okay, that is now ready and mixed. We're going to take our granola mix and pop it into our tray. Pack this down nice and even and pretty firm. You do want to push down quite hard on the granola mix. Now whilst that looks and smells delicious, I just want to chill it for 5 or so minutes in the fridge. Now I've brought it out of the fridge, but I've also brought it out of the country. We are back in Australia. We didn't get a chance to finish this while we were in Malaysia, so I've remade it here in Australia in this beautiful sunny winter's day. Come and take a look at this. It's set up nice and firmly. If I give it a little bit of a crack, I'm going to tip it out onto a board. Hopefully it'll come out in one piece. Give it a little bit of a bang. There she is. Take our piece of baking paper off the back. Look at that beautiful granola. I'm just going to turn this over. Of course, I didn't bring this from Malaysia. We did actually remake it here in Australia. I'm going to get the knife now, and we're just going to cut through this beautiful granola. Look at that. Doesn't that look gorgeous? I'm going to cut it into some fingers, or slightly large fingers. And I'm also going to then just cut this down. I've got the parakeets flying above me. We've got these absolutely gorgeous little granola bars here. Now, I'm just going to space these out a little bit. When I finished these in Malaysia, I added a little bit of yogurt to some white chocolate and coated the tops. Here in Australia, I'm just going to go for a beautiful melted white chocolate. So it's not super hot at the moment, this chocolate. I'm just going to nip the end off my piping bag. Be a little careful it doesn't come running out. Now I'm just going to take that white chocolate and let it drizzle over the bars. Now I'm just going to pull that corner one off there. The chocolate's still a little bit gooey and a little bit soft. If you let these set up, you can store them in the fridge. They last for months and months and months. Of course, they're not going to last for months with me because they're just too good. Homemade granola bars are so simple to make and they taste delicious. Here goes. Oh, yum. The lovely caramelized sugars and honey, the seeds, a little bit of chocolate in there, the fruit as well. This is so, so good. You have to try it. Take some photographs, share them across on social media, and let me know what you think. In the meantime, share the love, give this one the thumbs up, and I will see you in a new video very shortly from Australia. Be good.